Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast. I'm Rose, and I'm a content creator going by the handle Cheap Lazy Vegan, and I also own a vegan cafe by the same name as the podcast, which is SaVeg Cafe.
And I'm Daniel, also a vegan, and one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends currently living in different countries, and we'll be giving our savage take on all things life, veganism, and the latest trending topics.
So basically, whatever comes to our minds, because we love to talk.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Hey guys.
How are you doing?
How is everyone doing in this kind of lockdown states? Yeah, it's pretty crazy out there.
Well, we don't know when we're going to post this, so maybe everything's back to normal.
Optimistically. Well, I like that, Rose. You're really
Optimistic Rose.
Yes, I love it. What a change. You know, I'm used to Rose just,
Goddamn Daniels.
Bringing in that negative. No, I'm just kidding. No, but no, fingers crossed. Let's hope that maybe it's not going to be fully back to normal, but maybe, some things are starting to
shift.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody about this in Spain. They think that our lockdown is going to get extended past the April 12th, but we were saying potentially what they might do is like start doing it in phases. Like maybe they'll start opening a few things, and certain people that maybe aren't as high risk might be able to leave the houses and do stuff and kind of test and then see how that impacts the numbers and do it like gradually. This? No, I was just talking with my friend. That's what we think could happen.
Yes, but we don't know when that's going to happen because Spain numbers are still so high.
I know,
I don't even understand. Like, it's crazy. Isn't it past Italy now?
No, I think Italy's still number one. Actually, I don't know.
Italy's not
maybe
number one. Italy's number one with deaths, but US is number one now.
Oh yeah, US. Sorry, I knew.
I'm sorry, guys. We're always talking about this, but we're just catching up.
Everyone's
okay?
mad.
God damn, maybe people don't want to hear it. I don't know.
Oh, god damn.
Okay, so
let me
look at these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goddamn, Daniels. Do you want to know these numbers? It'd be bad as hell.
I know, I can see. The US is insane, though.
Overall, so today's date is April 3rd, Friday.
Yeah.
And overall, the total number of cases, over 1 million at this point.
Holy
over
shit.
58,000 deaths worldwide.
I mean, that's insane.
And the US is going insane at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sneeze. Ooh.
Bless you.
Oh, excuse me. I got spit on my lip. Sorry.
Oh, god damn.
Anyways, okay, so Italy is number 2. Spain is number 3, but it's catching up.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is I think the thing is Spain, I just looking at the numbers now, the number of daily new cases in Spain it peaked. Or we don't know for sure if it's peaked or not, but it peaked like potentially like 5 or 6 days ago. It hit its highest number of new cases per day.
Right.
So it seems to be on a downward trend, but who knows? But the States...
It looks like it's like a bump. It's been kind of like this.
Yeah.
Because
it's
peaked,
kind of on the downward...
and then it went down, and then it peaked again, and then it's starting to go down. But who knows? It's still really high. It's over thousands of cases a day. This is crazy.
I know, it's nuts. But what they're saying about the States, I watched this thing about the guy was talking about the exponential growth of this virus, and he was talking about how every week that the States or any country waits to do the isolation and the self-isolation, in that week, there will be that many more cases that actually, and this is what the States is experiencing now, where, they're having this like exponential growth of the virus. So it's scary as all.
And they've been warned, man.
I know.
They were warned. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can talk about, because
so
that's kind of the theme of this
today.
podcast is, and I love this word. I want to we posted it on our Instagram account as well, but someone came up with this word Covidiot, which I love. So basically, we're going to talk about the idiots that have come out of the woodworks in their reaction to the coronavirus. Well, I guess the idiots were always there, but it's just seeing their reaction to this. That's
now we're seeing them.
Yeah, exactly. They might have been a little bit more hidden before. But now we're seeing really, I would say, humanity at its finest.
Oh, God.
Some of the things that people are doing are...
Not just idiotic, but also like really like bad. right?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, do you remember when we did a podcast a while ago just about the coronavirus?
Right.
And I did think that was something that was quite funny, which leads into this whole idea of people being kind of stupid with this coronavirus. It was on the World Health Organization website that preventative measures there was 3 things that you shouldn't do to prevent getting the virus. And the fact that they had to write it on their official website means that people were doing it.
Right.
So one of them, or thinking that they could do it, one of them was smoking. So they're like, don't smoke to try to combat the virus. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The other one was don't preemptively take antibiotics. So imagine people that weren't sick were just stocking up on antibiotics and taking them to prevent getting the virus.
But so aren't antibiotics, again, I don't know, but this is like a virus, and then antibiotics wouldn't even have right?
Let me
hold on. Because by antibiotics, okay, now I'm sounding stupid, but
I think you're right, though. I don't think that antibodies actually have an impact on a virus. It's more for like...
Isn't it for bacterial?
Yeah, bacterial infection. I thought it kills bacteria.
Yes, antibiotics. Okay, so I'm not stupid, guys. I'm not stupid, at least not with this topic. Antibiotics are strong medicines that treat bacterial infections. Antibiotics won't treat viral infections because they can't kill viruses. So people are taking antibiotics.
Exactly. Preemptively taking antibiotics.
What the fuck did you just eat there, Daniel?
It's a pineapple Alpro yogurt.
Daniel, this ain't no mukbang video, okay? this be a podcast.
Am I giving you some ASMR vibes on this mic?
Last time too, Daniel sent me a voice clip. And he was like in the middle of chewing some shit, okay? And he just decided this is the perfect time to start recording a voice clip. So, and he was just like chewing away and just eating his breakfast or whatever the fuck he was eating. I was like, Dan, you couldn't have waited like 10 seconds to finish chewing.
But then, you know, sometimes if you wait those 10 seconds, the idea might lose your head. Like you might lose your head. You might lose the idea. You know, when you have that idea.
It was nothing groundbreaking, Daniel.
Thanks for that.
The savagery has come out.
Oh, it has. Another thing that they said on the World Health Organization, so we had the preemptive antibiotics taking. We had people that were taking up smoking to combat the virus. Again, really, really great ideas.
Really smart.
Yeah, and the third and final one that they had on the World Health Organization was that wearing 2 masks is it's not effective, more effective than just wearing one. So you don't have to double up on masks as well.
But to be fair, let me just be fair for a second before we get into talking about all the Covidiots or whatever. I do feel like a lot of them have stemmed from the fact that there wasn't proper information. Daniel's still just going away at his yogurt. But anyway, I do feel like there was so much misinformation, so much random information. The government's like, to be fair, nobody really knew what this was, I think.
That's true.
And we found out a lot at this point. So now we can kind of make some conclusions. But even with the mask situation, everyone was saying like, don't wear a mask. It's not going to be effective. But now they're kind of like turning that. And now they're saying different things about the mask.
Exactly.
So it's like, what are we supposed to believe? And the fact that they said that masks were, because I think the whole narrative was that masks are effective if you have the virus. Like,
if you have it, to
prevent other people from getting it. But then that never made sense to me because I'm like, well, if you're telling me that a lot of people are asymptomatic and they don't show symptoms for a few days, wouldn't it make sense for everyone to wear a mask? So that just in case somebody has it. So for example, like if somebody has it, but they don't know that they have it, if they wear a mask, they could prevent it, right? But I think the reason why they were saying like don't wear a mask is because they were running out of masks.
That's it. They just didn't have enough masks. Yeah.
But I do feel like it was a bit like, I don't know. Anyway.
And you're right about the people that are asymptomatic, because I told you about that. I think I told you about that test that they did in Iceland, where they weren't just testing people that had symptoms. They did like a sample test of like the general population and people that didn't have any symptoms that were feeling fine. And let's just pretend they had like 400 cases or something of corona. 200 of those, like almost 50%, they found were people that had no symptoms whatsoever.
That's really scary.
And they never got symptoms. They never developed symptoms.
Really?
Their body, for whatever reason, just didn't react to the virus.
Do you know what the sample size was?
No idea. I can't remember. It was like...
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hang on. We can just cut this out, but I'll just Google it.
Google it.
Iceland
coronavirus studies.
Coronavirus. Have you seen that Cardi B
no?
thing?
Oh, maybe. Yes, maybe.
Here we go. Iceland lab testing suggests 50% of coronavirus cases have no symptoms.
Oh my God.
What does it say here? There's a blah, 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 blah. That's just because they have such a small number of people as well, though, in Iceland. As of Tuesday, Iceland had tested more than 17,900 people for the virus, nearly 5% of its population. And the main findings showed, blah, 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 blah. The company's founder told CNN that around 50% of those who were tested positive were asymptomatic, confirming
That's
multiple
crazy.
studies that show that asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic have obviously played a huge role in spreading this virus.
So, I mean, you could have had it, Daniel.
I think I actually did, to be honest, because one of the things that was going around, and again, we just don't know so much about this virus. One of the things going around is that people were losing their sense of smell and taste. Yeah. And literally that was me. I had no other symptoms. I felt fine. I was exercising in my room and everything. But I literally could not, I couldn't even smell coffee or anything, like in the morning, nothing. And throughout the entire day, it's just starting to come back now, my smell. Like it's come back the last couple of days, but it's still not.
That's so weird.
Fully the same. Yeah.
But then you didn't have like a stuffy nose.
Nope. No stuffy nose. I didn't have a runny nose. I didn't have like a fever, cough, no pain in my chest, nothing. So yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy. So yeah, the thing is, so that's why it's like, I thought it was kind of stupid that they were telling people that, wearing a mask is ineffective. Daniel, you gonna be finishing that yogurt anytime soon?
No, but I think, on the World Health Organization website, I think that the thing was, maybe like 2 masks aren't effective, but one would be, or like 2 masks aren't more effective than 1 mask.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think the other 2 are just like, it's ridiculous that they had to write that on the website. Because even if we know very little about the virus, I mean, at any point in your life, if there was some kind of contagious thing going around the world, do you think at any point that smoking would help kill it? Do you know what I mean? Like that's just, and if it's a viral infection, do you think taking antibiotics is going to help your body at all?
You'd think that people would do a little bit of research before taking antibiotics. That's the problem. Because I think because I was confused. I wasn't exactly sure what antibiotics do, but at the same time, if I were to take them, I would look into it a little bit.
Well, exactly. You're not just going to like randomly start taking antibiotics.
But I do think people are misinformed, and that's the problem. That's the main problem.
So I think part of it was, again, like you said, the government didn't know enough about it, and they didn't articulate the information that they did find as quickly and as fast as they probably could have. Yeah. So
anyway,
how should we kick this off with talking about Covidiots?
Covidiots. So we're just going to kind of talk about the things that have, the gems that have come out of this whole, I want to call this like the cringe fest that is COVID-19.
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. So I want to talk about a few things that are like trending that people are talking about. So one of the first things that, one of the first things that came out like maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago when coronavirus started becoming, a huge deal. Some girl that was like a influencer, she made a video. I don't know if it was on TikTok or on Instagram or something, where she was doing this coronavirus challenge and she was licking public toilets. Have you heard about this?
No. So why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's so
that is disgusting. I hate going into public bathrooms as it is.
Gag and like actually gag?
No, I'm just like it just made me feel a bit sick. Like, to be honest, like
yeah, like exactly. I don't even want to sit on a public toilet. I mean, I do obviously, but it's not a place where I would like to lick anything. Exactly.
This is going to come out really wrong, but a public toilet is not anywhere where I want to put something in or close to my mouth,
Are you sure about that, Daniel?
I'm 100% sure, Rose.
That's not what I heard. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so she started this obviously dumbass challenge, but you know how these social media challenges are, right? Like half of them are literally the dumbest thing, like the Tide Pod challenge. Like you've heard of that one, right?
The Tide Pod, no, but what did they do with the Tide Pod?
You know what Tide Pods are? It's like those laundry detergents that come in like a little pod. So you stick that pod in.
Were they eating them?
Yes. Well, like I don't know if they were eating them, but they were like they would bite into them. And I don't know why, but they would like film themselves doing that. And this became a trend that literally Tide had to put a disclaimer, like a warning sign on this became that big of a trend. I know. This is the next generation of people that are going to run this this planet. Okay. Welcome to the next generation. Yeah.
Again, never in my life did I think that putting a Tide Pod in my mouth would be a good idea ever.
Yeah.
Like,
and why is that even trending? I don't even understand. It's not even funny. Like to me, it's not funny. It's not
stupid.
Yeah. I don't know, like this, and I feel like these internet challenges are getting worse and worse. So anyways, this girl started this like coronavirus challenge where she was licking a fucking toilet seat. So fucking disgusting.
Just think about the public bathrooms you've been in and licking that seat.
Oh my, literally. It was disgusting. And it wasn't even like, you know how you have the, what do you call it? Like the seat down?
Yeah.
It was like fully up. So it's like where all the fucking disgusting shit is on, you know. Oh, it's so gross. I'm sorry, guys.
Rose, please.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Well, I didn't know you'd be eating yogurt during this time, okay? It's not my fault. You started eating right before we talked about this, okay?
I know, this is true.
I do apologize, guys, if you are eating and I just grossed you out. But anyways, so she started this. And then, of course, dumb people started doing it as well. And one guy apparently did it. And then he
got the coronavirus.
Got the coronavirus. I mean, of course, we don't know how he got it. But obviously, he's being reckless in general. So... so that's one Covidiot. I think it's one of the worst, that one.
That is so bad. Like, I mean, it's literally like, you know, and they have said, you know, obviously for younger people, it potentially isn't as deadly, but some young people are still dying from it. So it's not like it's 100%, right? So
that's the thing. And also, did you know like the CNN news anchor, his name is Chris Cuomo? He's like pretty famous. Anyways, his brother is the New York City governor. Anyways, he actually got, Chris Cuomo, the journalist, the CNN news anchor, he actually got coronavirus and he's like kind of broadcasting from his basement. And he's like probably mid-age, like not too old. He's probably like, I don't know, 40 something, maybe 50 something. Yeah. And he's saying that like, yeah, he's probably going to survive, but it's like really tough. Like you know, I can't remember everything he was saying. He's saying he got hallucinations and it's just like crazy. So even though, like we look at the statistic of like 20% is going to probably be severely, you know, needing a lot of treatment. And then 80% is going to be okay. But out of those 80%, we don't know how many people are like really suffering. You know what I mean?
No, true. God damn.
So even if we get it and we're healthy, we're going to be fine. But those few days are probably going to be very painful.
Exactly. And those people that are doing those challenges to try to like lick freaking toilet seats and stuff, literally you're tempting fate, not only to get coronavirus, but to probably get some kind of bacterial infection.
It's so
that
disgusting.
you know, like,
and it doesn't even like, how does it transfer? Does it transfer through like,
I heard it's from like
just any bodily fluids?
No, I think it's like when you cough or when you, because it's like, it's mainly contained within your lungs from my understanding. Again, don't quote me on this, guys. But I feel like if you're going into bathrooms, the way that they would get it is from touching like somebody, like a doorknob or something,
not from
and then touching
licking
their
the toilet
face.
seat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd get something else from licking the fucking toilet seat.
Oh, God damn.
Oh, it's so disgusting. And we need to move on from this topic.
Yeah, we need to. Like, let's move on because I can't keep thinking about this. Otherwise, I might throw up my yogurt right here, right now. And that's not going to be a pretty sight, let me tell you.
Oh, God. Anyways, I mean, so that's that. That's one of the stupid stories. Another thing that, well, this isn't like, people were out there in subways licking the pole, making videos about that. And I think now in certain places, not exactly sure, but in certain places, it's now like a criminal, you could be criminally charged for doing stuff like that, for like intentionally trying to like spread the virus. Like, you know, that guy in the NBA, did you see that? Where I think he was in the NBA and he was doing some kind of press conference or something. So he was sitting at like this table with like all the equipment and he was like jokingly touching everything and just kind of joking about the virus. And then it turns out that he has it. So this is the kind of shit like...
I know. Oh, God. Seriously.
Like people need to stop being stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I just love how these kind of instances happen. No, not love, but like... And it really just like highlights people's both their stupidity but also their selfishness as well. And it just like, because I think if we all, and this sounds very philosophical and whatever else, but like if we all work together, like we are all in this together, like we're so if we work as a team, we're gonna get better results instead of people being fucking idiots doing this kind of shit like, oh, I'm gonna spread the virus and I'm gonna fucking lick toilet seats and
seriously,
do whatever else. And like, let's not even get started about the freaking hoarding.
Okay, shall we talk about the hoarding? Yes. Well, I guess at this point now, it's funny how this is kind of old news in a way.
It isn't. Yeah, it isn't. It isn't because, well, no, I guess people so much, like they're not hoarding as much, it seems. I don't know, but I think people have calmed down on the hoardation front.
The hoardation. I like it.
I could be wrong, but I just think, again, these stupid people going into stores and like, and this especially happened in Canada, in the States, probably some in the UK as well, I think, going and buying all the toilet paper, all of the hand sanitizer, all of the like products that other people are going to need just so you can selfishly just have them on yourself. And like, even when the lockdown happened, even the most strict countries, like people are still going to be able to get groceries and food and things like that. Like they're not going to starve you. They're not going to make it so that you literally will starve to death, because that's not the whole point of this lockdown. The point is just to stay away from people, right? So the fact that these people, the first thing that comes to their head is, we're not gonna be able to go to the stores at all or get anything, so let's just hoard everything that we can because we're gonna be in lockdown for like, the rest of the year and I'm not gonna be able to leave my house. Yeah. Like, how stupid.
I think a lot of people live in fear of, I mean, it's funny because in here where I am, like Calgary in Canada, it's not... I haven't noticed that groceries are empty. Yeah, there are parts of the grocery store that are, obviously like, I'm not sure. I haven't checked toilet paper because, bitch, I've had the same goddamn package of toilet paper underneath my sink for a long time, even before this whole thing started. So I'm okay. But I might need to buy some soon. So maybe I won't be okay. We'll see. But I haven't checked. But when I went to the grocery store, it was fine. There was even some pasta. There was some, some beans. It was okay. And my parents are also telling me that like grocery stores, like they seem to be fine. Like things are stocked. So I don't know. To me, it's weird that I'm hearing all this news about people just like clearing out grocery stores. I think it happens a lot in the States and maybe in the UK. I don't know about the UK, but in the States for sure, people have this weird thing with going to the grocery. Like there's always so much drama at the grocery store in the States or like stores, like Black Friday. People go insane over there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a scarcity mindset. I'm not really sure. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know either. It's a weird one because, I mean, in Spain, it didn't happen, like at least where I am in Spain, there was a bit, like I went to the grocery store and it was definitely lower than what it normally is, but I didn't get the sense that people were...
right?
Exactly, yeah. Which that does make sense because maybe some people that buy groceries at like every other day, they've now stocked up so they can only have to go once a week or something. So yes, it will be a little bit, kind of less supplies, but... Yeah, I didn't notice, but I was getting pictures from my friends in the UK that like tons of like the Tesco stores and like literally the entire rows were just empty.
That makes no sense to me.
I don't the whole hoarding mentality again. I just don't understand it because, and you're right, it could be maybe that people live in fear, but like
I think so.
Yeah, like my first thought when they were mentioning the lockdown and stuff, I wasn't thinking the grocery stores and I'm not going to be able to get food or anything like that. That never crossed my mind. I always thought, even if it has to be delivered or something, they're not going to let people starve. Like what's better? Letting a whole population starve to death in a virus or getting the virus, you know what I mean? Like the countries are not going to do that. Right.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're freaking out because they're thinking that they can't leave their house ever. Because even if grocery stores are open, they're like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't leave the house.
True.
I'm trying to give people benefit of a doubt.
I see. You're being really nice today, Rose.
Which I rarely do. I know, right? It doesn't happen often. Oh, don't get used to this, guys.
Yeah. No, but I guess, I mean, you can try to see it on other people's sides as well. I mean, maybe if you can think of some good reasons, maybe put some in the comment section or something as to why you think people hoarded, enough toilet paper to last them for 2 years.
The toilet paper never makes sense, no. There's no excuse for that part. Food-wise, I can maybe empathize a little bit.
Exactly. Food and water, like the main things you need to live, right? You need food and you need water, right? So
and shelter.
Okay. And shelter, yeah. So I can see maybe a little bit more why would people hoard food. But again, toilet paper, like it just baffles me.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another point, which I think is, so that's like hoarding for your own personal use, right? For consumption within your home.
I know what you're going to say.
it brings me to probably one of the most hated men in the United States right now, or at least in a certain region of the United States, is a lovely gentleman who took it upon himself to start a business venture during this, this scare, because as you do, these things are a perfect opportunity to take advantage of people and make money, So what does he do? Goes out to all of the stores and corner stores in his area and buys up like the most ridiculous amount of hand sanitizer, of like wipes, everything else, then decides to resell them on eBay for like...
On Amazon, I believe.
Oh yeah, Amazon, sorry. For like $70 or something ridiculous for a single thing of hand sanitizer. Yeah. And he was selling some because they would go to the store and it's all gone. And then they would create more panic for these people. So they'd go online and everyone was price gouging. Not price gouging.
Yeah. Isn't it called price gouging?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is. It's price gouging.
Yeah.
And people that had, and I don't think it was just him. I think a few other people did this as well, but he was like the most prolific case where like it was ridiculous. And Amazon had to shut down a bunch of people's accounts because they were, obviously taking advantage of these people. And it's so bad, like I just think to myself, I'm like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like how selfish are you?
Oh my God, I know. It's crazy. And the amount that the crazy thing is, I understand, like people do this often, I guess, when it comes to obviously like supply and demand. But then this is the problem when we have something like a pandemic where people are dying or people, this is a desperate situation. And it's like you would expect people to have a certain amount of like ethics,
Yeah.
But I need to find this article about this guy.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. It's about it. And even the whole self-isolation thing, it is about there's an ethical component to it. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
And this guy, again, I do understand. Obviously, some businesses are out there to make money on, people's losses or things that happen.
Which is still fucked up to begin with.
Yeah. But even more so, I think, when you take advantage of a global pandemic where people are literally hundreds, or not hundreds, like tens of thousands of people are dying across the world.
Yeah.
People are scared. People are not in good places mentally right now. And then what are you going to do is you're going to take advantage of that and try to make a few extra bucks. Like it's just
Oh my God, this
horrible.
guy's disgusting. Like listen to this,
so
guys.
Bad. And he doesn't regret it at all. That's the worst part.
I think that it takes a certain type of person to do something like this. So I'm not surprised that he doesn't regret it because he obviously knew what he was doing. It's not like... Because if you listen to this, so he bought, I can't even say it, 17,700 bottles of hand sanitizer. So I'm so glad he got caught for this because, so on March 1st, the day after the first coronavirus death in the United States was announced, brothers Matt and Noah Colvin set out in a silver SUV to pick up some hand sanitizer. Driving around Tennessee, they hit Dollar Tree, then a Walmart, a Staples, a Home Depot. At each store, they cleaned out the shelves. Over the next 3 days, Noah Colvin took a 1,300-mile road trip across Tennessee and into Kentucky, filling a U-Haul truck with thousands of bottles of hand sanitizer and thousands of packs of antibacterial wipes. This is so disgusting. And this happened, the fact that he did this the day after the first coronavirus death in the United States makes it even worse.
It's so bad. I mean, it's just bad.
So then Matt Colvin stayed home near blah, 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 preparing the pallets of even more wipes, blah, 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 blah. And they posted 300 bottles of hand sanitizer and immediately sold them all for between $8 to $70 each, multiples higher than what he had bought them for. To him, it was crazy money. To many others, it was profiting from a pandemic. Next day, Amazon pulled his items and thousands of other listings. And then he got suspended. And then I remember, I think I watched like a small part of an interview. And then he was saying how he's like, I've always done this. I've always like, done price gouging or whatever. Yeah. But I'm just like, really with this kind of stuff?
So it's just bad. You know what I mean? Like, I just think, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're right. It takes a certain kind of person though, because like I personally wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I knew that I was like taking advantage of the people in this situation and, people that, probably are struggling a bit and, they can't really afford to be paying $70 for hand sanitizer.
And the fact that you're going out of your way to like purposely purchase all of them at that cheap price so that no one else can get it for that price and then sell, like it's disgusting. It's actually disgusting.
And not only that, but like that adds to the level of, because we talked earlier about people getting scared, right?
Right.
So I think that adds to it because people in those local areas wouldn't necessarily have known that these two guys had gone around and picked up everything.
Yeah.
They might think to themselves, everyone is going to the stores to buy hand sanitizer, and there's a huge panic that creates more panic for them, thinking, shoot, I need hand sanitizer. All the stores are sold out. Somebody knows something that I don't. Like all these people know something, and they would start panicking.
Exactly.
So it's just like a vicious cycle.
Like he should I don't know.
There should be
like
he should some kind of criminal.
Yeah, like maybe not criminal, but at least like some kind of ban or not ban. He did get banned from Amazon, but what's the word I'm looking for? Some kind of, what's the thing where you get fined? God damn, I can't speak. Yes, there should be a fine. Yes.
No, definitely.
Yeah. So that's another, gem that came out of the coronavirus fiasco. We've had a few celebrity instances. I think we talked about one of them before, where certain celebrities are not really taking things seriously. I do think that we put too much of we think celebrities are
like gods
above regular humans, and they're not, and clearly it shows. And I feel like it's not surprising when like, for example, Vanessa Hudgens. Did you hear about that?
I saw that one.
Oh
when
gosh,
she was like,
sounds so dumb.
I know it's just bad because, again, especially with celebrities, because so many people look up to them. Or even influencers and stuff as well, though, is they're going to have undue influence on people's decisions. And if they see these celebrities not taking it seriously, they're going to be like, well, that person's not taking it seriously. Why should I? You know? And it was so cringy what she said, though. She's like, oh, it's just a virus, and like people are going to die. I do feel kind of bad,
though, because I feel like I almost said something similar like that. Maybe not in those exact words.
Exactly.
But I do feel like, again, I think a couple weeks ago, maybe, a lot of people, including myself, didn't realize how bad it was. For me, it was more of a question of like, are we taking this too far? Like, I'm not really sure what's happening.
Well, I think when we discussed it too on the podcast, we both said that as well. We said, are people overreacting? We don't know, but like it seems like maybe this will all blow over. But then obviously,
so I think it is important, especially even with us, that when we talk and we're not sure, like maybe we shouldn't say it with such certainty.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me just read what she wrote. Let's see.
Okay, let's hear it.
Or what she said in her
TikTok or something.
It was Instagram Live, and she said, "It's a virus. I get it. I respect it." Let me find the. What does she say?
The clip.
Yeah, should I play the clip? Are you gonna be done this yogurt?
Sorry, I'm done.
Finish the goddamn yogurt, Daniels. It's a late time for you to be eating yogurt, isn't it?
True. I just really fancied a snack. I should have had one. But
so somebody wrote what she said, and I'm going to read it word by word. Okay.
Okay.
So she said, "It's sounds like a bunch of bull." Oh, so Hudgens told her followers she thought officials estimated the outbreak might last until July. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit. She said, "It's a virus. I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are going to die, which is terrible, but like inevitable." This reminds me of how many times we say like, and we need to stop doing that.
Oh, that's so true. We do say that a lot. So apologies for the listeners of this podcast.
I do think North Americans do it a lot.
Oh, and we do it even more than I think, especially, I think it's like
we do it more. Do we?
In Calgary, but I think we do.
It's so
it
like
might be a
not
Calgarian
cute.
thing.
I just said it again. See?
It's so like not cute.
It's so like, well, I feel like, see, when I say it, no, I feel like it's different. Okay. That's actually part of a sentence. Okay.
Yeah, true.
But when you say it in the middle of a sentence, like so, then it sounds kind of,
Ditzy?
Like you're an airhead. Yeah. Kind of like an airhead. So I'm going to try not to say it so much because I don't like hearing myself say like every single 2 seconds.
I know.
But it's also very hard because, yeah, you're right. I do feel like, people in this region especially maybe say it a little bit more. I'm not sure why.
I think that they do. I do think it's like a Western Canada / Western East Coast kind of thing for whatever reason.
Western East Coast?
I mean...
What's Western East Coast, Daniel?
What am I saying? Western Coast. I meant to say Western Coast of the U.S. as well. So like, I don't know. Anyway.
I think it's just all over North America. People just say it quite a bit. Maybe
true,
people
true.
with similar accents to us say it a lot. Like North America, Californians, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a virus. Like, I get it. I don't think you get it, girl.
Rose? Do you respect it, Rose? Do you respect the virus?
I don't respect it. Okay. How do you respect the virus? That's such a weird, random thing to say.
It is a weird
It's
thing.
a weird way to phrase something. I respect it. What do you respect?
What do you respect about it? I'm not sure.
I don't think I'm getting the respect portion when you're saying people are going to die.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, like people are going to die, but also I don't think you get it enough to say that you get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I do think people do kind of get carried away with the cancel train. Like they want to cancel her and stuff and cancel all these people. But at the same time, people say stupid shit all the time.
Exactly.
And it's just that when you are a celebrity, unfortunately, like it is shown to a wider audience. And
Well, this is it.
yeah. And sometimes you say stupid shit and
Exactly.
people, yeah, it's unfortunate.
I think too, with celebrities and stuff, like obviously we say stupid shit sometimes on camera,
100%.
sometimes off camera. But again, we can, you know, we have that opportunity. There's not as big of an audience, I guess, as
Right.
probably as celebrities
Like
have.
Vanessa Hudgens. Mhm.
Exactly. Like she has a massive, massive audience. And for her, it's like she would say something and what am I trying to say? You would say something stupid, but then afterwards she probably regrets it and she does feel
Exactly.
bad. So I think that sometimes you say stuff and then in hindsight, you're like, oh shoot,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I probably shouldn't have said that and I don't actually feel this way. So then, you know.
Exactly. People do say a lot of things, and I do think people take what celebrities say a little bit too seriously. And sometimes, like, there is room for forgiveness and being like, okay, she was just saying something stupid. She's also not, you know, she's young and,
Yeah.
you know, like, how many stupid things do people say on a regular basis to their friends, right?
Exactly. A lot.
So, anyway, so that's another thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then another little thing that Daniel thought was really sweet, but also a lot of people thought was really cringy, was a clip of celebrities singing Imagine.
Yeah. I thought it was really sweet. It was like all the celebrities like coming together and like singing this really cute song.
Do you know why it sparked controversy though?
Why?
Oh, you don't know at all? Why would you think? Just like picture why someone would be like annoyed or thinking that it was out of touch.
I honestly can't think right now, Rose. It's late here, okay?
What time is it, Daniel?
It's like almost 12 o'clock.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's not. It's like 10.
It's 11:40 right now.
Oh. Well, basically, first of all, I mean, here's the thing. I do think people take,
I was going to say, is it because like, well, part of it is like the celebrities are like being like, oh, we're all, I guess, kind of like unified and doing this together. But then on the flip side, like celebrities are not going to
I think you're getting there. Do it.
fully understand what people are going through because obviously when they're in lockdown, they're in like a, you know,
Yes.
17,000 square foot house with tennis courts and swimming pools. And here they are saying, you know, we're here with you, blah, 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 blah. We're one with the people. When it's like, well, really, it's not going to be like a quarantine for you because you have like 17 wings in your house.
Exactly.
So it has a little bit less of a kind of pull. That would be my guess.
Yes. That's kind of the gist of it all. So basically, if you guys don't know, so this actress, her name is Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, is that how you say her name? Gal Gadot or whatever.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
And she started this social media, like she wanted to start this like video. She made this video of all her celebrity friends singing like a line of Imagine. And this one title of this article is like a video of celebrities singing Imagine so bad it can bring us all together in hatred. So this thing got so basically she just got everyone. She's like, oh, what does she say in the beginning? She's like, during this time of difficulty in this world, you know, something like that. And then she starts singing Imagine by John Lennon. And by the way, also, I feel like that's such a weird choice of song. I don't know. Like it's just, it's an inspirational song and it's a good song, but also I don't know if this is the right time for that song specifically.
Yeah.
It was just so random and kind of like, for me, it was cringy. It wasn't like, I wasn't too taken aback by it. I wasn't like, oh my God, that's so offensive. Because obviously I understand that they are, living in their own little bubble. And I don't think that they realize that. And I think if you are in that situation, it would be hard to, realize how much of a bubble you live in.
Exactly.
So, and I'm sure that of course, they didn't have bad intentions. So I don't take it that seriously of thinking like, oh my God, like how terrible. But so many people were just...
went feral, didn't they?
Well, they just thought, let me see if there's any tweets of people just went for it. Like everyone was just like, this is so stupid, out of touch. You're literally sitting in your giant mansion and you have literally no idea what some people are going through in terms of, people are losing their jobs. They don't have money to pay rent for next month or whatever. People are losing their health insurance in the US, especially. People are, a lot of people are going to suffer like tremendously. And the celebrities have like, they're still, of course, everyone is going to suffer to some extent, but the amount of suffering that they have to endure is going to be minuscule because they just have to stay home in their, gigantic mansion with 40 rooms and they have a swimming pool and they have all this other stuff. And yet they're trying to make some kind of inspiration video so that all the peasants can look at them and be like, oh yes, they're so inspirational.
Yeah, they can do it. We can do it. I mean, I think that the part of the reason why I liked it though, is I just think also you're right. Like I can see why people came off on that angle, but I also think, when you're in that bubble, you don't realize. And again, I don't think that there was malintention from it. So, so I can see, I don't know. I did like it. I thought it was nice, but
yeah. Oh God.
I don't know.
Okay, so this is what Gal Gadot said. She said, hi guys, day 6 in self-quarantine. And I gotta say, these past few days got me feeling a bit philosophical. This virus has affected the entire world. Everyone, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. We're in this together. And then this article, what follows is an inexplicably weird mix of a bunch of different actors and singers filming themselves on their phones singing a cappella. It was incredibly awkward and downright cringy to watch. And people on Twitter wasted no time in saying so. And then someone wrote, just saw the Gal Gadot Imagine video thing, and I think it may be ruined music for me.
Oh my God.
People roasted this. Let's see here. Oh, what if we did a modern version of We Are the World, but it's 20 times as awkward, filmed on iPhones. Most of the celebrities look like they hate that they're in it, and it solves nothing because this is a pandemic and not a war. See, that was my point too. I'm like, do you know what the song is? I feel like Imagine's about like war and peace, right? So I'm just like, this isn't really... Like, I kind of get what you're trying to do, but also I think you're kind of missing the point. Celebrities are the least self-aware people on earth.
I mean, I do think there's some...
Oh my God, so glad these people said, imagine no possessions. Hope they tell us how they'll be redistributing their wealth soon.
Gosh, people are so funny.
But you just think it's all nice and pretty and bubbly and great.
No, I didn't think that. I mean, I obviously saw, like, I can see where people are coming from, and you're right. Like, I think a lot of celebrities do, they lose that touch of reality. You know what I mean? Because they are living in, especially if they've been a celebrity for like a long time with millions and millions of dollars all the time. Like you do lose some sense of reality. Yeah. But again, it's like, I think that they were the intention was there to do something positive. So that's partly why I think I looked at it in more of a positive light. And I get that maybe it wasn't the right message, or not the right message. It wasn't the right maybe way to go about doing it. But I think that the positive, what am I trying to say? The positive intention was there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely, it wasn't the worst thing that happened for sure. And they weren't trying to be rude or anything like that. I think that it was just a little like
awkward, I guess.
You're just, it was so awkward. I'm like, are you in like a bubble? Yes, they are.
Cringy.
It was very cringy.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
And the singing was bad, but that's another point. That's a different point. So that's that. So that happened. It got roasted hard. Also got roasted by Joe Rogan, like super hard.
Oh God.
Yeah. But people were just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, calm the fuck down. Anyways, what's another thing? Oh,
what about the Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. Tell
I was
me.
going to talk about the a bunch of people that like there was like a video where these kids were like all partying still in the States and stuff, and they were like interviewing some of the children, and they were like, or the
children.
young adults, the children, the young
The
adults, and they
college
were
kids.
like the college kids. Yeah, was it for spring break or something, or
Yes.
something like this?
In Florida, I guess I'm not sure. I guess all the kids would be from Florida. They went to Miami Beach, and this was, I think, just a couple weeks ago when I think it started to become a thing in the U.S. So the U.S. finally started taking it seriously, and they were like, okay, I think we need to, start social distancing. And then there was a bunch of kids that went to Florida, to Miami Beach for spring break, and just like partying it up. All like in close, like obviously all like together, just not having any awareness. And then they all got interviewed. Well, a bunch of them got interviewed. And again, I feel kind of bad for them because I don't think they realized, and I'm not sure how much college kids watch the news or pay attention, right? So we don't know how much they've been told. So I do think that, again, I'm going to take what they say with a grain of salt, because I think that they didn't realize how bad it was, or that it was as infectious as it was, because a lot of there was one guy that was like, if I get corona, I get corona. It's not a big deal. But again, I don't think he knew the extent of it.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that's a very good point, because they're young. I say children because they're like, we're so old now. But like young adults. That's what I'm trying to say. So basically, a bunch of them being interviewed and stuff. And like, think about us when we were that age as well, like 21, 22.
Yeah.
Like we probably, I don't know, maybe we would have done something similar. I don't know. But like, if it was like, if we didn't think of
I hope
the virus,
not.
But if we didn't have enough information about the virus, and we didn't think it was as bad of a thing, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, they are living in the States where the president of the United States was basically in denial and calling it a hoax for the longest time. So I really can't blame some citizens for not taking it seriously. Like,
I know. I honestly like, and I don't want to like bash the States too much.
Oh, we're not bashing the States. We're bashing certain people, especially the certain governmental people in the government.
Yeah.
Because I know not everyone is like this, obviously.
That's no, for sure. Like I remember when I was traveling, I met these two girls. They're really lovely girls, really sweet. They were from the States. Yeah. And I just happened to be sitting next to them at this table. Like this is how we met. Then me and my friend were talking about everything that was going on with Brexit in the UK. And I remember one of the girls was like, she turned to me and she was like, and this is when Brexit was like huge. Like it was like everywhere.
It was all over the news when it first happened, right? Or was it?
It was like after they've officially signed the documents, I think, and stuff. So it was like all happening. Either way. And the girl turns to me and I remember her saying, what's Brexit?
Oh God.
And I was like, no, you did not just say that.
It's so cringe.
You're like, oh.
Where was she from in the States? Do you know?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I do think that sometimes, again, generalizing, and not even generalizing, because it's not, there's so many people in the States. Okay.
Exactly.
So I do think that sometimes maybe it's the education that is not, it doesn't really go past the US, because they think the US is the center of the universe, essentially. A lot of people. Yeah. So a lot of people that live in the US, maybe they don't have proper education about the rest of the world, or, but Brexit, like, come on, that's a pretty big.
I know. I was shocked. And it could have been just those two girls, but it was just the fact that I was just like, oh God.
I'm sure it was just those two girls.
Yeah.
But I do remember watching, this is off topic, but I remember, this was like many years ago. There was a video on YouTube with this guy that was interviewing people in California. So, California, very liberal state or whatever, interviewing people on the street in California. And he was asking people about Canada and information about Canada. Have you seen this video?
I've seen this, yeah. Like, I don't know if it's the same thing, but I know there's also a movie made about it or something as well, I think, where a guy goes down to the States and he interviews people again, or he'll just say random facts. Like he'll be like, oh, did you know that Canada got its first electrical socket? And this is like, in the 90s or the 2000s. And then they were like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, congratulations for Canada. Like, just like the most ridiculous stuff.
As in like we just got our first
electricity.
Socket.
Yeah. Things like this. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that.
Which is crazy because we live right above you. You know what I'm saying?
We're not that far away.
We're not that far away. And so this guy, he was asking questions like, what currency do they use in Canada? And people would be like, yen? I'm just like, and what else was I don't know if this girl was serious, but he'd be like, who's the prime minister of Canada? I can't remember who was the prime minister at that time, but he asked that question and she was like, Tim Horton? Oh God, I'm trying to think of other things. It was so bad. Oh, they'd be like, which way is Canada from here? And most people did not know. And I'm sure he cut out the people that knew because obviously that's not as funny. Yeah. But like so many people didn't know. And I was just like, how can you not know this?
That's so true.
How can you not know? Come on.
I don't know.
It's just,
but you're right. I think he edited it to look a certain way though, right? Obviously.
Well, I mean, obviously it's like when you watch the, what's his name? What's the guy, the talk show host that does the, I ate all your Halloween candy prank to kids?
Oh, is it Jimmy Fallon? No.
It's not Jimmy Fallon. It's Jimmy. Is it Jimmy something? Anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because he does like street interviews and he makes people look stupid. But I do think that obviously he edits out the smart people because smart people are not interesting or funny.
I know.
But the fact that there are even people like that is the shocking thing, right? The fact that you could get enough data, in one day, probably they film it in one day. The fact that you can get enough data to make that video and, and it's not like, I understand geography is not everyone's like strong suit. I totally get it. And I'm also not very good at geography, but also.
I'm going to say you in locations, Rose. Oh, that's something else.
That's different. That's not geography. Okay. But it's different if, for example, if you were in Europe and because there's so many countries everywhere and it's a little bit confusing. But if you're in the US, there really is not much there. Okay. It's the US and then above you is fucking Canada. That's like basically that's all you need to know. And then below you is Mexico. That's all you fucking need to know. Literally. Those are 3 countries. It's really not that complicated. Yeah. So there's no excuse.
Exactly. No, I hear you.
It's crazy. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. But once again, US listeners, love you guys. Obviously, we are not talking about you.
Exactly. We're just saying that, certain people. And you know what? In Canada, we have people like this as well,
I'm sure we do. Maybe not that many. Honestly, it is probably the education system.
Yeah, it has something to do with that or something. I don't know.
It is obviously the education system problem if a lot of people in your country are, unable to What do you keep eating, Daniel? How are you not done this yogurt? How much yogurt is in that yogurt cup?
No, I just saw the lid and I just wanted to lick a little bit off the top of it.
Would you like to finish it so that I'm no longer distracted from all the licking and all the eating of the yogurt?
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done. I won't have any more.
The professionalism, guys. I do apologize on Daniel's behalf. Anyways, what was I saying? I'd lost my train of thought.
We were talking about
the education system, system of the United States, and then Daniel decided to lick the lid of his yogurt cup. But anyways, that's interesting.
Well, and also another thing that also has been kind of funny is like those. I've seen some images of people making like makeshift masks and stuff. So like, people just doing the most random stuff. So for example, there was a picture of somebody in a grocery store with they had cut the bottom of a water cooler off and they just put it on their head. And somebody else put like them and their stroller in a plastic like garbage bag, but you could see through it.
You know what? Honestly, people have no shame at this point. I say do it. And it might be protective. Who the fuck knows? Yeah. I saw a guy wearing a bra. Did you see that? He cut up a bra and he made it into the mask. I'm like, damn, like you smart. It probably works.
He's using his intuition. Exactly.
There's a lot of padding on that bra. You know,
I was going to say,
a lot of protection.
Exactly. Those things be padded as hell. They probably got some kind of filter in there, you know?
Seriously, it probably works. Although like the kind of the bravery of him to go out like that is something also to be admired.
No, definitely. You know, I'm going to walk out with a bra in my mouth. Like,
it was an old man. It was an old Asian man. You know, like old Asian men just don't give a fuck. They're just like, fuck this shit. I think it was an old Asian man. I think it was an old man for sure. There was also someone that was like doing a video and he was like, I don't know how serious he was. He was probably joking, but he was trying to show you how to make a mask out of a a pad, a period pad, a
Oh my
menstrual
God.
pad.
I think that they need to draw the line at the bra. Okay, the bra, that's in what do I want to say? Innovative. You know, it's creative.
Yes.
It's already kind of got a cup feature that can go nicely
Yes.
over your mouth. But a pad,
Yeah.
I think it's going a bit too far.
I don't know. I
Okay?
mean, maybe it'll save lives, Daniel.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, I guess I can't knock it if it's
a little
going to
bit-
save lives.
It's also a little bit more affordable than a bra. Bras are expensive. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. So
They're very expensive, Daniel.
yeah.
Wouldn't you know from your cross-dressing days?
Oh yeah, that fun little.
There was a time that Daniel did dress up as Britney Spears. Did you not?
I did, yeah, but that was for a party. It was like a special. Yeah. That's the only
Anyways,
time I ever did. Anyway,
I saved, how long have we been recording?
it'd be 55 minutes.
Oh, goddamn. Well, I saved one of the biggest gems for the last that I would like to discuss. It is religious, are they called ministers? Religious people.
Or pastor.
Religious. I'm going to put religious in quotations because I think these people are disgusting. Pastor, that's what they're called.
Yeah,
These
pastor,
pastors or religious leaders, essentially, trying to benefit essentially from this virus, from this whole pandemic. Saying like, there's a few things that come out of this whole religious thing. I don't care if you're religious, first of all. If you want to believe in God and if you want to pray, go ahead. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not religious, but go ahead, do that. But I think one of the, arguments for people that are religious that say, why people should be religious. So one of the arguments is that if you're atheist or if you don't believe in a God, how can you have morals? How can you have ethics? And then I look at these people, I'm like, you guys have literally no morals. And of course, again, I'm talking about these specific people.
Yeah,
so
extremes.
there's a guy named Kenneth Copeland. And he literally looks like the devil. I honestly, you should Google him because he actually looks like the devil.
I think I saw him I saw him in that video that you sent me.
Yes.
Because it was at the end of that video, wasn't it?
Exactly. So he's already, basically the problem with religious organizations is that they don't pay tax. So whatever money they make, they can just, a lot of these people just pocket the money. So they will use people's kind of desperation and desperation for health and, for a God or whatever. They will use that to their advantage and they will essentially try to get money from you because people donate to the church or to the ministry or whatever to, get salvation because they think that these people are, religious leaders. So they think if they give money to them, this is what I think what happens. So they think if they give money to these people, they're going to be saved or they're going to be, helped by God or Jesus in some way. So so this guy, I believe, is a multimillionaire, flies around in private jets, lives this very luxurious life because he takes advantage of vulnerable people. And this is not an exception. This time of the whole coronavirus, he did this crazy, creepy, segment on TV where he was
with the wet
put your hand on the
right?
screen. Yeah. Put your hand on the screen. Lord Jesus, save us, Lord Jesus. And then he was just basically being like, well, you guys should still keep donating because, he was just being disgusting.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's like, how do these people live with themselves? It's like going back, like just mentioning about people taking advantage of other people in this situation. So we had the guy with the hand sanitizer, and that's no different than this guy, this religious pastor who
I think this is worse. This guy's worse because he's doing it, trying to pretend to be,
under the guise.
Yes.
Yeah, under the guise of faith, basically, and taking advantage of people from that.
Yeah.
And taking their money, which is just horrible. Like in a sense, giving people a feeling of like, if you donate to this to me, basically, and I you're protected from this, virus or whatever else.
Yeah.
So it's just people at their worst, honestly. Like
it's so bad.
And he does. You guys should Google him. I just did. He's a very creepy looking man.
Right? So he says, so this article says, televangelist Kenneth Copeland is curing people of coronavirus through television. So again, he's probably saying, again, I did not watch this segment because I watched a part of it because it was so creepy.
Yeah.
So he, I can't even say these words. He hold on.
No
he
worries.
probably tells people, this is my guess, my guess, correct me if I'm wrong, he probably tells people, okay, please like pay to this ministry, you know, call this number. They're like televangelists. So you call the number and then you like make a donation. Yeah. So they call and they make a donation. And then he's probably like, okay, now that you've done this, like I'm going to cure you through the fucking television. Yeah. That's my guess.
It's disgusting. He's a multi-millionaire. I just looked it up. His net worth is like $760 million.
Disgusting. And they don't get taxed on this because they're a religious organization. He is literally a scam artist. I don't believe for a second that he doesn't know what he's doing. It's so crazy. It says this. In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, Copeland, who begs his viewers for donations, is claiming to cure viewers through their television screens. Let's see. The scam evangelist's wife, Gloria Copeland, has urged viewers not to be vaccinated on previous broadcasts, saying Jesus gave us the flu shot. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, these people should like honestly need to be locked up. I'm honestly just so disgusted because the people watching this stuff and believing him are going to be vulnerable people most of the time. They're probably older and they probably are vulnerable. And he's saying stuff that is criminal.
Exactly. Well, this is just it. Like, I feel like no one, it would be targeting a certain demographic because most people wouldn't give money to somebody knowing that, you know what I mean? I would never pay anyone if they said, oh, I can cure you through the work of God. Yeah. I would be like, well, no, you know what I mean? So I just think any kind of like, I think most people would, but apparently not.
And then somebody was also trying to sell like silver or something through the TV saying that, oh yeah, this should help cure this whole virus.
Wasn't it like digestible silver or something that you like you take a little bit of it or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, what? How can people even believe this shit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, exactly.
And then there's all these churches. And that's another thing. Here's the problem. Also, that's not even the only thing, because I think I talked about this before, where in Korea, the main reason why Korean numbers became so large very quickly is because there was a church, this very big church. It was like a cult-like church that kept trying to get people to come in to mass or whatever you call these ceremonies.
No, I think it's called mass. Yeah.
Is it called mass?
Sure it's mass?
I think Catholic churches are called mass. Anyways, this church just basically was like, oh, you need to still come, even if you're feeling sick, you still need to worship, Jesus Christ or whatever. And then, so literally hundreds of people got the virus thanks to, this church. Yeah. So, and then even now there's still churches having
mass
and business as usual. And I really think it's criminal. I really think it's criminal because the thing is, no one is saying you shouldn't worship and no one is saying that you don't have the right to worship. And 100%. There are other religions that are abiding by the rules here. Okay. So sit at home. Okay. This is not a situation.
You can still pray at home, you know what I mean? Or you can still or the churches can organize like what a lot of companies and other stuff are doing with like Zoom conferences or virtual kind of stuff. Like there's ways that you can go about this without having to physically go to church. But if
people are sitting at home, then they probably won't donate.
Yeah, they don't get their collection because they have that tin that goes around and that you have to pay for. So
exactly. That's why. That is 100% why. I don't doubt it for a second. That's why they're still operating business as usual. So I think that's one of the most disgusting things, using people's fear, people's, desperation to your advantage, but also doing that under the guise of religion. And, making people feel guilty if they don't go to church. Like,
it's so bad, honestly.
It's disgusting. That kind of shit needs to die.
No.
God damn. That kind of shit.
I know, it makes me feel really angry when that happens, because then I always think like, and I'm not saying that like maybe it could happen to, well, it probably could happen to my grandparents as well, but like, anytime people are taking advantage of more vulnerable people, it just like really gets under my skin, because it's like, one of the things that, this is kind of a little bit of a digression, but one of the ladies in my grandma's like old folks community had somebody scam her. I might have mentioned this before, but they basically scammed her out of like 8,000 pounds or something.
Right.
And which for people that are retired, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
Depending
money.
on their situation.
$8,000 in general is just like a lot of money for most people. That's
exactly.
a lot of money to be scammed.
So exactly. And they scammed her. And I just felt so bad because it was like through some kind of like, I don't even know exactly how they did it.
Was it through like the phone?
I think so. And they tried to do it with my grandma as well. Like they called her and then they were like, oh, your payment for, I don't know, the phone company didn't go through. Can you just give us your card number and we'll pay it over the phone or whatever?
Right.
It was like just stuff like this. But like, it gets under my skin because like you're taking advantage of these people. Like that's not cool.
It's usually these scams, they do happen to older people because they are going to be the ones that, and I also heard another thing that has to do with the coronavirus. So when this started happening, especially here in Alberta, so Alberta is the province that I live in Canada. And I remember seeing a tweet by Alberta Health Services saying something like, if somebody calls you saying they're calling from Alberta Health Services and asking for, or basically they're saying that there's a new scam where people are telling people that they have coronavirus and trying to scam people from that. Oh my
God.
I was like, really?
Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with people? Honestly, it
makes me
I know there's
so
a lot
bad.
of great people out there, but like this is ridiculous. Like, fuck, what is wrong with you?
It's disgusting. I know. It made me so mad. I was like, really? Yeah. You're going to do that? Like, that's how far you're going to go? How do you, honestly, how do you sleep at night?
How do you sleep at night? Exactly. How? Like, it's making my blood boil.
I know. That's happened. So scams are coming out. People are price gouging. Celebrities are singing ridiculously stupid songs and girls are licking toilets. Yeah. What else is happening on this earth?
people are getting really creative with masks. And then there's some people that are just saying, fuck the coronavirus and going out and partying. So,
oh God. I wonder if that's still happening. I do think that there are still some people that are like, whatever. But I think now it's becoming almost criminal to do that.
Yeah, I think it's getting to that point.
There is one more thing that I wanted to discuss that I found out yesterday. So I was on like social media and stuff on Instagram, and there are some like Instagram influencers that are kind of getting in trouble, I guess, by the public because they live in New York, but then so there's this one particular girl that's on Instagram and she has a family. So she has like kids and her husband and stuff, and they live in New York. And I guess she got tested positive for coronavirus. It was like maybe a week ago or something like that. And then I guess she decided to take her kids and her family to her beach house in the Hamptons so that she could quarantine there. And then people were pissed. They're like, why are you leaving the house? Why are you leaving? I'm probably not explaining it properly. Let me see if I can find an article actually. But what do you think about that, Daniel?
Because I was going to say, like, I mean, if she is going from her apartment in New York, going directly to her car with just her family and driving to their beach house and not stopping anywhere. I mean, personally, like, I don't see why that would necessarily be issued. Like, if you're not coming into contact with people.
I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I'm missing something.
It would be different if she was like, oh, they went to the grocery store, she went shopping, she did all this stuff to stock up on things before she went to her beach house. Then I'll be like, what are you doing? You need to order your stuff online and just get to your beach house and what's it called? Quarantine there.
Let me see here. Okay. Her name is Ariel Charnas.
Okay. Ariel Charnas.
Let me see if I can find an article. Oh, there we go. Okay. Influencer Ariel Charnas faces renewed backlash for retreating to Hamptons after COVID-19 diagnosis. Blah, 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 blah. Ariel Charnas, who sparked outrage in March when she disclosed she tested positive for COVID-19 after being screened by a friend, is facing renewed backlash. Okay, so she's got lots of backlash apparently. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Apparently she got accusations that she falsified her test results. Okay, that's too much stuff. Give me what I want to know. Give me what I want to know. Okay.
Give us the juice.
Okay. Commenters questioned in the photo. So she took a photo of her by her pool in the Hamptons. And actually, I don't even know Hamptons. Is it a beach? I feel like it is a beach area in New York.
It is. It's like
right?
a beach. It's like a beach. It's just outside of New York.
Right.
And it's basically like a little area where they have a lot of celebrities and people that are rich have like beach houses that are like basically houses right along the beach.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So she took a photo and she was, by the pool, and then she posted it on Instagram. And then commenters questioned in the photo caption why she traveled to the Hamptons on Long Island, which has become a popular destination for New York City residents seeking to flee the densely populated city during the pandemic. Charnas defended her decision in a statement Thursday, saying that after she learned that she tested positive for COVID-19 on March 19th, she, along with her husband and nanny, both whom were also tested positive, and the couple's children followed all of their doctor's recommendations to a T. They quarantined at her home in New York City for 14 days, beginning March 13th when she began feeling ill. Oh my God, this is too long.
I still don't see personally, if anything, her quarantining in the Hamptons, and again, maybe there's more to this than what we know, but her quarantining herself in the Hamptons is actually better than her being in New York anyway, because New York is more densely populated. There's more people, more chances. But I guess if you're isolating, you shouldn't really have any chance to come into contact with people. And if her family's all positive as well, and they went together in their vehicle, not, again, coming into contact with people, I don't see what the big deal is. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it would be like if I was in like Calgary, let's say in an apartment, and I found out I had it and I had like a cabin or something that I wanted to go to that's more secluded and I could just be with my family there, then I don't see what would be wrong with me getting into a car and doing that.
Okay, let me see this. Okay, yeah. I have a timeline. I like this. March 16th, Ariel announces she feels sick and gets tested for COVID-19. And first, she got backlash for that, which I think is a little bit because apparently that she was feeling sick for a few days. And after first saying that she has been told she didn't meet the criteria for testing in New York State, she later announced that she would be tested. So people were kind of pissed off that she got tested. She got preferential treatment, essentially, even though she didn't need to. So, I mean, that, I get it. I get why people would be annoyed or, whatever. And people are saying that, she was flaunting her privilege when other people are being denied treatment. Anyways, so on March 18th, she reveals that she has tested positive for COVID-19. And then on March 26th, let's see here. March 26th, she leaves New York City for the Hamptons. And then for one, if you have COVID-19 like Ariel, the CDC says you are not supposed to leave home until you have had no fever for 3 full days. All other symptoms have improved and at least 7 days have passed since first symptoms. It's unclear if Ariel met all the criteria, although later she said that she first developed symptoms on March 13th. However, New Yorkers were told that same week to self-quarantine for 14 days if they left the city, regardless of whether they had COVID-19. Small towns and vacation destinations like the Hamptons have also been begging New Yorkers not to come to their towns and overwhelm local resources. So maybe that's part of it why.
Okay,
And on Saturday, the CDC issued a federal travel advisory asking people from the New York metro area to refrain from non-essential travel for the next 14 days. Okay. I get your point too, but I also do get kind of people's points.
I think it's a gray area. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily be really quick to backlash on her. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, I can see both sides of it. I can see why she would have gone to the Hamptons with her family. And I could also see why, people are giving a little bit of backlash. But I think, again, it's a bit of a gray area. So it's not like she's going on a holiday or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess technically it's a holiday home, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do think maybe it's a little bit, it was maybe a little bit irresponsible because we don't know how, I guess if New York State is telling you just stay in your home, maybe then just stay in your home, guidelines. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's I think most of why people get pissed is because, you know, obviously she has so much privilege that she can just, you know, and she couldn't just stay in her home for, you know, those allocated days that she's supposed to stay home. True. And she just had to go and flee to the Hamptons. I think that's kind of, it's just kind of like an eye roll moment. It's not really something that I would hate her about, I think.
It's similar to celebrities, like that video where the celebrities are like being like, oh, we're like everyone else, but really they're stopped by their pool filming a video, you know, like it's like, okay, well,
I mean,
come on, you know,
that's judging. I think this is worse because she could potentially be spreading the virus because just by leaving her home, right? We don't know we don't know the full details because if she's going to Hamptons, like who's shopping for your food? Like, what do you, like, you know what I mean? We don't know all the details, right? So I guess that's the problem. But I do think people, maybe they're a little bit really mean. You know, I get the frustration about, you know, the privilege. And then there was another influencer. Oh, yes, it's actually in this article. Naomi Davis, aka Love Taza, received a ton of hate for fleeing New York City in an RV to travel out west to get more space during the quarantine. Once again, she has kids and she decided to leave. This one might be worse because she posted a picture of like an RV. She said she rented an RV because she doesn't want to, you know, come in contact with people. She wants to be like responsible and she's going to go and flee. But then she's fleeing to the west. So you're never going to leave your RV. Like you're never going to go and get, you know, groceries. You're not going to go and, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to go get gas. So it's just kind of like, So that sparked also some outrage.
God damn.
So yeah, that happened. And I think the problem is mainly that New York City is such a big hub right now and everyone is living in such fear and everyone is in lockdown and everyone is like literally not leaving their homes. And then I guess for people to just be like, well, I'm going to leave because I want to be in a bigger space. I think that's what's pissing people off, I think, essentially.
True. I mean, the crazy thing is, and you're right, I think that's a big part of it because New York at the moment, I mean, it has almost as many cases just in New York as there are in Spain.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
It's like the epicenter of the virus right now.
How many cases are there in New York right now?
102,000.
Oh no.
Yeah. So 102,000 in New York and Spain right now has like 118,000 or 119,000. So
how many
still
deaths?
Like a bit of like.
How many deaths?
In New York?
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's really bad.
New York's had almost 3,000 deaths.
Oh no.
I mean, it's crazy because like, again, the sheer magnitude of this is like, it's just going to be overwhelming the hospitals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just not going to be enough staff to look after all the people that are going there. And they're literally going to have a lot of like dead, you know, people dying basically. And, you know, it's like an influx of like so many people. Like it's, I can't imagine what people are going through in New York right now. It's insane.
I feel like it's insane because I feel like a lot of people saw this coming, especially New York. You know, a lot of people were like, this is going to happen. And I think, again, I'm not sure all the details, but I do think that the government, the federal government, maybe could have done a lot more to help these people. And it's really sad. Yeah.
Super sad.
Fuck, New York. It's so sad. Imagine, I just can't even imagine looking at New York City, like Times Square and seeing it completely empty.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Because I saw pictures of the Piazza Duomo in Milan, which is, because I used to study in Milan and I used to go to that Duomo, which is like the main church. And it's always packed full of people like in that square. There's people running around everywhere. Never seen it empty. And just seeing pictures of it completely empty is
creepy,
like,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's so creepy. We're living in a weird fucking time.
I know. It's just the whole situation is it's just crazy. So.
But I did like to end this with a little positivity because I know this whole thing has been us, you know, talking about all the negative shit. Yeah. I did really like that video that our friend Christelle sent us. It was, I want to find it so I can show people. Do you remember that video? It was on LinkedIn and it was like, did you watch it, Daniel?
I don't actually think I'm trying to recall if I've watched it.
It was like, it was really positive. It was like, can't wait until, you know what, let me find it. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. God damn, I can't believe I didn't watch it. I thought Daniel, I had.
You need to pay attention to the group chat.
I know, that's so true.
Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, yes, I found it. Let me see if I can play this, actually. You might be able to hear it.
Okay.
The virus crisis is changing life as we know it dramatically tonight.
Can you hear it?
I can't wait for a year's time when all of this is a distant memory. And there is a corona baby boom because all the lovers were loving.
Baby
There was
boom.
a rise in small businesses because all the entrepreneurs had a moment of stillness and creativity. And all the children remember nothing but a time when all the mums and dads were at home drawing and playing ball games, and we remember it as the time we all got to stop and be present. We will remember the time our health was our first priority, and people learned new ways to use fresh produce to feed their families. We remember the laughter and fun on TikTok, FaceTiming with our friends and family each day, date nights in the house, and home PE workouts with Joe Wicks. A time our real heroes in the NHS urged us to stay at home for the greater good, and our country showing their support by turning Wembley and the Angel of the North blue.
So this is obviously a UK thing.
All forced to think outside the box and dream up new things and reinvent old ways, and for once, even amongst the chaos, there was community. There was a global rise in togetherness, and as the streets were quiet, our homes were bustling with love and laughter. That time is coming soon, just like any other crisis before it. This will all be a distant memory, a thing we soon listen to our children discuss in classrooms, or once was, that we share with our grandchildren. So to you, I know it's unsettling, but focus on the silver lining. We're all in this together, and there is so much beauty to see.
Is it so good?
Oh, that's actually so nice.
If we can
I really
add a
like
link
that.
to this in the show notes, we will.
Yeah.
Because it's so
Yeah.
nice. I almost cried when I first watched it.
I know, because it is bringing up so many like good and positive things that could potentially come out of this.
Yeah, I
And
really do think that,
So
because obviously once it is over, it will, it is, she's right. This girl's right. It will be a, distant memory at some point. And I'm sure a lot of good things will come out of this as a result. And
Definitely.
that baby boom, I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
that baby boom is going to be a thing. Okay. We all know.
New couples, new love, new dating stories for the podcast, Daniels.
Yeah. Oh, god damn. As soon as I'm going to come out of the quarantine.
Oh my God. No,
yes,
we didn't give a life update. Daniel, what is going on over there?
Oh God. Are
Tell
you
me
talking
just a
about
brief.
my most recent encounter with the embassy?
Yes. So I was telling my parents that I've been telling you to get your shit together.
I know.
Anyways,
well, basically,
Yeah.
I've been going back and forth about this whole like flying, like if I should book a flight. My friend sent me a flight that's actually in April 20th or something. That flies via London or Frankfurt. I can't remember which one. So I might potentially think of booking it. I talked to the embassy yesterday, and the embassy was like, the last commercial flight direct from Spain to Canada left last week. There's no more direct flights. There are still some international flights going out of London and Frankfurt. So that's kind of my situation right now. So I don't know. God damn.
What are you thinking? How are you doing in the quarantine though? So like it's been how long now? Because you've been in quarantine the most compared to me, obviously. Yeah.
Let's see on a calendar how many actual days this has been, because it was for 2 weeks, then they extended it again. So, okay, let's see. I've been on quarantine since March 13th. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh. It's been like
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is my 23rd day on quarantine. So I've almost been a month. And the thing that's frustrating, but I know I'm going to have to do it anyway, is like when I do get back to Canada, I'm probably going to have to isolate
You
again
will have
for
to
another
isolate
14.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, no, I will.
Yeah.
So I'll have to be in self-isolation for another 2 weeks. But I think in Canada it would be a lot better because I'll be at my parents' house. There'll be more space. I can we have a backyard. Like I won't be so like, I'm in a little apartment here in Spain. So like, it's not ideal.
I know. You should come
Crazy.
back.
I know. I'm starting to lean towards this now. Oh God.
You should have leaned toward it a few weeks ago.
I know. But now I'm just worried. Like if I book the flight, like what's going to happen? Is it going to get canceled? Is it going to...
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should like talk to the embassy again and be like, should I book this flight?
Yeah, I might ask them. I might actually look into it because it's kind of getting like to the point where it's like, what is the point of me even being here right now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because like to be fair, April 20th is not that far off, you know?
Yeah, that's so true.
And it's not, I don't think Spain's going to open up.
No, probably not.
Daily cases are like 7,000 cases a day. So
I know.
it's crazy. It's literally crazy.
It's nuts. You're right.
Like Canada doesn't even come close to that. Yeah, like it is getting bad, but not that bad. Like it's, you know what I mean? Comparatively.
Yeah, and I think also Canada kind of caught it not more early, but like they've already people self-isolating and stuff like that. And also just because like other than like some of the big cities,
density.
Exactly, population density overall in Canada is like not that much. So other than like Toronto and Vancouver and some of those places, but like even in Calgary, it's quite spread out. So
yeah, so you should come back.
I should, but anyway, I will keep you posted on that situation.
Well, we gonna get the updates from Daniels. Okay, we might be doing a podcast from Daniel's basement. You know, I'll be sitting here, you be sitting in your parents' basement, quarantined.
Quarantined. Oh goddamn! So after the 14 days, well, actually, I don't know what would happen. I'd have to quarantine for 14 days, and then
we're probably still going to be self-isolating. I'm not sure how long, so we probably still can't see each other. But but you could still you could go outside for walks. You know, you can go out.
Thank God.
You know what I mean? Like, so those are kind of things that are good. Obviously, you can be in the house with your parents, probably. And as long as your parents aren't, you know, going out and doing stuff, I'm not sure, but
no, they'd have to. The whole house would have to self-isolate if I came. Basically, that's why my brother's urging me not to come because he's like, don't. No, he's like, he doesn't want to.
Not if you self-isolate in the basement and not contact them for 2 weeks.
That's true. So I'd have to be in the basement and have them put food like on this on
yes,
the
and you can talk through the window.
Door.
Yes. Yeah.
So sad.
It doesn't even feel real. Hey,
I know. It's crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy.
Anyways, guys, I think we've been talking for quite some time as usual. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you had a little fun with us. I hope you got a little laugh out of this. Don't forget to check out our extra episodes on Patreon, patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. We have a few there now. We've got dating stories. We've got, worst date stories. We've got our crazy dating rules. We've got, a few more juicy little episodes and more to come, of course. And of course, you get all the episodes early and all that good stuff. And
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great day, guys. Stay safe. And
don't be a Covidiot.
Don't be a Covidiot. Okay. Come on. We're in this together, you know, and like that positive message from that video at the very end, which we will link in the description if we can.
Yes.
Or in the show notes. You know, this will be eventually a distant memory. So we just got to kind of look forward and, you know, stay connected and let's get through this.
Yes. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.